Good afternoon. Right, I'm Nadine Matheson, best-selling author, former lawyer and podcast host. And yesterday I did a video explaining why, if you're a writer, you shouldn't send your first draft of your manuscript to an agent or direct to publishers if they're taking unsolicited submissions. And then I had a question. And the question from Lauren Doe is, do you recommend having your first draft proofread by someone else? If so, how often should this be done? Every chapter after being done? Okay, so I will not send my first draft to my agent. When my agent sees my draft, it's probably the third time I've rewritten it. But before that, I do send my first draft to writer friends. So I will send them the opening chapters. I recently, in a book I've been working on, I sent a writer friend of mine, I sent him 5,000 words. Yeah, I think it was 5,000 words I sent him. And it's not just to proofread and make sure my spelling and punctuation's correct. It's to make sure that the story that I'm telling, that it actually makes sense, and that with those opening chapters, those 5,000 words, that they're invested in the character and that they're invested in the story and that they want to keep going. So it's not necessarily proofreading those early chapters, that first draft. It's just getting someone to put a second set of eyes on it and see if it's worth continuing, and if they want to read it, if they want to carry on. So I wouldn't necessarily call it proofreading. I would, if it's me personally, I wouldn't have anyone proofread it until I finished it. And that means I've written the first draft and then I've done the rewrite. But that's not to say you can't give it to writer friends along the way whilst you're writing that first draft, just to get a second pair of eyes on it. I wouldn't go as far to say, yeah, definitely go ahead and get it proofread. I think proofreading you should leave to when you're ready for it to be submitted, whether to an agent or if you're self-publishing it yourself. When I self-published, I got a proofreader, and that was only once I'd finished the book, it being edited. So I've worked with the editor and I've now got that final version, but I need it to be proofread before I go to print. So my advice is, don't send your first draft out to anybody, but have writer friends. If you want advice, go through those early chapters, or as you go along the book, have them go through it, give you their thoughts on it, and only get it proofread when you're ready. If you're self-publishing, when you're ready to go to print, get it proofread. And if you're going the traditional route, the publishers will find a proofreader for you, and then you'll proofread your final manuscript before it goes to print. Hope that helps.